Good morning, everyone. Oh, this weather is making me really happy. I'm such a British YouTuber talking about the weather immediately in a vlog. But it has been a crazy heat wave, and then the last couple of days it has been the perfect temperature, like 15 to 20 degrees and blue skies with a bit of cloud. So it just feels like refreshing, and like autumn is around the corner, which is just makes me so happy. I've just finished getting ready. I'm going to get my nails sorted this morning. Alex is back home now. I know so many of you have like said, is Alex doing okay? Where is he? And I've been mentioning how he's not been here. He's home now. We're going on a lovely yoga retreat this week together, which will be wonderful. We had a week off from work, which was also wonderful. We just took really the time to be together, celebrate our 1 year anniversary, did loads of lovely things, and yeah, it was such a lovely week. I feel like we both needed it. Both of us have been feeling like mentally quite stressed and low for various reasons, and sometimes you just need time off to rest and to just, I don't know, just switch off and give yourself that time. I feel like a lot of us don't do that, and I don't do that. And I've been noticing a lot of your comments recently saying how much you've appreciated me talking more about my mental health. It's something that I've always talked about on my channel ever since the start, because I am a verbal processor when it comes to feelings, and I have struggled with mental health issues for years. If you didn't know, I experienced an eating disorder growing up, and I have experienced anxiety, health anxiety, depression, lots of mental health struggles. And I think a lot of you are appreciating when I'm actually just sharing when I'm going through it, because on social media it can be difficult to share the highs and lows and without kind of having that boundary crossed for yourself if you're going through something. So I found for me it's been really helpful, and also I think helpful for you to just say if I'm having a bad day, or say if I'm going through a period of time where I'm not feeling myself. And I'm going to continue to do that because I'm noticing how much it's relating to a lot of you, or just kind of sharing how I'm dealing with it if I'm having a bad day, and sharing what I'm doing. One of the things that I have done for years that I've always recommended, and I have, it's helped me tremendously, is therapy. In particular, I started therapy during the pandemic. I went through a really low time, and I was just incredibly anxious. I was seriously anxious every single day, waking up, feeling not myself, and I developed health anxiety, which is a form of OCD, and it was really severe. I'm not talking just being like a hypochondriac, like worrying about, oh, I feel a bit unwell today. I wonder if I've got something wrong with me. Should I ring the doctor? I'm talking like it consumed my thoughts morning, noon and night. I became hysterical over it, and it really, it caused a huge interference in my life. So I sought therapy. I did talking therapy. I did CBT therapy. And then later, about a year on, I sought out the help of a psychologist just to sort of dig deeper into why it was happening. And all types of therapy helped for different reasons. And that's why I went through that process of speaking to different therapists and kind of like trying to figure out what was going on with me and get to the bottom of it. And each stage helped for different things and for different reasons. And I can now confidently say that though I still experience mental health struggles with, body image issues, or feeling anxious, or health anxiety, or feeling really down with depression, I am able to have the tools now to combat them so it doesn't become all consuming. It's a really weird feeling when you're like, I feel this way and I'm used to this feeling. The feeling hasn't gone, but I kind of now know how to deal with it. I know now to speak to people, to use the tools I've been given by my therapists to combat it. And that's kind of quite powerful, really, because you fear falling down that slope, but you can get yourself back up again. And that's why I'm really excited that BetterHelp contacted me, and this is a paid partnership with BetterHelp. If you don't know who BetterHelp are, I actually spoke about them years ago on my channel. I think it was in a video when we returned from Southeast Asia, and I talked about how I was using BetterHelp to just combat the mental health issues I was experiencing. So if you're interested in having online therapy, then BetterHelp is a really, really wonderful resource. The way it works is that you do a quick questionnaire about what you're going through, what you're experiencing, and BetterHelp will partner you up with a therapist. If you don't get on with that therapist, because that does happen, I've experienced that where I've met with a therapist and it hasn't felt quite right, then you can find a new therapist at no extra cost and make the adjustments that are suited to you, because the whole point is that you feel comfortable to open up. I feel like there's a barrier sometimes when it comes to mental health. I felt this at least a lot of times, when you feel like if you haven't been clinically diagnosed, that you think that you don't need help, or you're like, oh, I'm fine, other people have it worse. But if you are experiencing a clinical, medical, mental health issue like anxiety or depression, or if you are just a human and you are living life and it's hard, this is for you, because therapy can help everybody, and I'm a true believer that therapy is for everyone. It isn't a one size fits all, and it isn't just for people experiencing the extremes of mental health conditions. It can be for anyone who is just having a really difficult time, because it is a spectrum and everyone is different. You can get matched with a therapist really easily just by filling out a few questions, and they'll match you up to a therapist. If you use the link in my description, then you get 10% off, which not only helps my channel out, but also hopefully helps you out to make therapy that bit more accessible. I honestly believe out of everything that I have tried when it comes to mental health issues, therapy has been the one thing that has stood the test of time for me. It has transformed my life and Alex's life. I know I mentioned that we both have experienced mental health struggles in the past and present. I don't know anyone in my life, to be honest, who doesn't have issues and struggles with their mental health. It's just so prevalent and so common. So if you are going through it and you are a bit at a corner where you're not really sure what to do about it, I really, really recommend therapy. It is so important to speak to somebody who's a professional who can help guide you through what you're going through and give you tools to move forwards with it, or just listen to you. Like, therapy has so many different ways of presenting itself. It could be someone just listening to you and hearing what you have to say, somebody giving you the tools to understand your brain better, or somebody just kind of explaining back to you what you've said. I find that very helpful. I remember seeing a drawing about therapy, about how your mind is all in a big muddle, and a therapist just helps you to straighten that line out so you understand what's going on. Doesn't necessarily make the problem go away, but it can help you see it clearly, if that makes sense. So if you are struggling, please click the link down below and go and speak to a therapist, check out BetterHelp, and I really hope that it offers a lot of you some kind of resource to improve your mental health and find solace in talking to somebody, because for me it was a lifesaver, and it was something that just changed my life for the better. I still have therapy to this day, so go check out BetterHelp. Let me know if you want me to do a dedicated video on my experience with health anxiety in particular. I know I got a request for that recently, but I want to know if it's something that a lot of you are interested in, because it is a form of OCD, it is a form of anxiety, and it is maybe more common than I think it is, because I saw that Lily Pebble's husband did a podcast about his experience with health anxiety, and I listened to it. It was amazing, and it was actually extremely refreshing for me to hear someone else talk about health anxiety in particular, because I think online I see a lot of people talk about anxiety or depression or eating disorders, but I actually haven't seen someone else talk about health anxiety specifically. And for me, it was very crippling. So let me know if you want me to do a specific video on my experience with it. Now I'm kind of like out the other side. I still have it, I still experience it, but I kind of have tackled the debilitating part of it that means you can't get on with your day. And now I now know how to live with it and have the tools essentially to quieten that voice in my head. Just let me know, and I would happily make that video, because I've made videos in the past about my eating disorder, and maybe that would help some of you. But I'm gonna do my hair and get dressed for the day. Going to get my nails done this morning. They have survived quite well considering the amount of renos I've done, but they are like chipping at the ends. So I think I'm gonna go for an autumnal colour, because it's officially September. Autumn is here or / around the corner. I'm just telling myself it's autumn, even though we've had a heat wave in the UK and every UK vlogger is probably going on about it. I'm going to show you a little garden update today, because we have had all of the trees chopped, and it is insane the difference it's made. This is the time of year you want to do it so that it can chill out for winter and grow back. The trees were just all growing over each other and suffocating each other. So we've trimmed everything back, and it's kind of crazy the amount of light. Even this morning in this kitchen I was like, oh my gosh, because there's no big trees out the front blocking the light. And in the garden it just is so much better. They're coming back Wednesday to finish. But yeah, we're gonna go to Penzance, get my nails done. Alex is gonna take Roxy for a little beach walk, and I'm just gonna have a cozy autumn day. Maybe do some baking, some gardening, some just cozy things, so stay tuned for a cozy vlog. Anyway, I'm gonna make my avocado toast. That is taking forever to toast. It's always when you're in a bit of a pinch for time that the toast takes so long. I love the Smeg mixer and the Smeg appliances I have. The toaster, however, does take a while, but is that just every toaster? Does every toaster just take a while when you first toast it?
I think it's because of my bread.
Oh.
It's thick. I've never really had it with other stuff.
Oh, you're right, because it's homemade bread. Okay. No, I take it back. I love the Smeg stuff. It just looks gorgeous on the counter. Are you doing the laundry right now?
Yeah.
Alex, are you ready to leave in 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Why are you doing the laundry? This sums my husband up. Gotta leave in 3 minutes? Oh, I know, I'm gonna put a laundry load on. Ay, ay, ay. This is gonna be an avocado toast eat from the chopping board. Unless you wanna take it in the car.
Yeah, you can do.
Why does it smell like holiday? I think it's because I'm in a dress with trainers, my hair is wet, and I can smell toast, and it's like that kind of breezy air outside. Yeah. Feels brighter outside because of the trees. Off we go. It's so weird putting makeup on. I feel like really glam for this time of the morning.
I know what you mean.
But it does make me reflect on how I used to, let me know if you're the same, if you're a similar age to me. My generation anyway, I don't know what girls nowadays are doing, or younger girls or older girls did, but for me, when I was younger, I would wake up like 2 hours before I had to leave for school, and I would have a shower, I'd wash my hair, I'd shave my legs, I would do like a full everything shower every day. Yeah, and I would blow dry my hair, and I have a lot of hair, and I'd blow dry it and straighten it, and my hair is obviously curly. And I would be doing my hair for like an hour and a half because I was so, I guess, pressured to think that that's what I had to do. It was the trend to have really dead, oh, okay, no, that's the right way. I was really pressured to having like dead straight hair. And I didn't know how to deal with my wavy hair. It's one of the things I think about, like when I have kids, if we have a daughter, I'm really gonna teach her how to look after her wavy curly hair. I didn't really know how to deal with my hair texture, or if my mum did show me, I didn't listen. And I used to straighten my hair and I'd do a full face of makeup. And I'm not talking like the makeup I've got on now. Like I've got BB cream, bit of concealer, bit of mascara, done my eyebrows, bit of, you know, lip balm, like natural kind of just throw it on 5 minutes makeup. I used to be really obsessed with YouTube. Oh, what? Watch out!
Whoa! Get out of the way!
The way that men don't react.
Because I thought it was like a leaf or a twig.
Another thing I want the women to weigh in on. Are their husbands and boyfriends the same in that they react so slowly to things in the car? I always am so shocked. I'm like, he's going to stop any second or he's going to slow down. There was a squirrel.
Who's the one who had a car crash?
That was someone crashed into me. Oh my God. I literally was driving along minding my own business. Anyway, God, this story is so infuriating for you guys watching. I don't even know what I was saying. Yeah, I used to love watching YouTube girls like Pixie Woo, Tanya Burr. I'm trying to think of who the other ones are. I know that there was like Juicy Star, all the lovely American and British makeup girls back in the day on YouTube, and I was obsessed with them. I could not afford any of the makeup, so I bought like a really, or my parents got me, maybe they bought me a nice one for Christmas, like one of those lovely big makeup palettes that had all the colours. I think they got me one for Christmas because they knew how much I loved it. I can't remember the brand, but it was one of those nice brands. And I would do like full blown eyeshadow, and I'd do a different colour every day, and I get told off by my teachers. I do like smoky eyes, and I would do like full like matte foundation because that was what was fashionable back then, and then like pale lipstick. And I wish I had pictures of me as at that age, because I don't think there are many pictures of me at that age. And I just look back and think, wow, I really had the dedication to do that. And then I just put on my school uniform. Like, what the hell? But I did try and accessorize the school uniform with a military jacket or a leather jacket, depending on the day. And then sometimes you'd wear either a Rip Curl or Roxy belt.
Did you have to take them off before you got to school?
You were allowed to wear a jacket so that you'd get away with that, and you'd wear trainers on the way to school, and then as soon as class started you'd take your trainers off and put your school shoes on. And I'm not joking, everyone in my school anyway, again, let me know if you were the same in your school, during break you go to your locker, you change your shoes into trainers just so you could walk around at break for half an hour in trainers and look cool, and then you'd put your shoes back on. Because you'd have to wear doll shoes, and only maybe when I was like 14, 15 did like doll shoes and school shoes kind of merge together to become trendy, because doll shoes became trendy. And so it was like, okay, but I look back and think, wow, because the moral of the story is it's 9 AM or it's 9:15 and I feel very dolled up, even though I've got just like a little bit of makeup on, because I just haven't been wearing makeup recently at all. And it just makes me reflect on how I used to really go for it back in the day. Maybe you were a girl in school who just didn't wear makeup at all, because I had friends like that as well who were like, Maddie, you're crazy. Why have you got a full face makeup on at 7 AM? Oh. Here are my new nails. I feel like I have a new personality because this is my colour. This is what I wear most of the time. And I haven't had it in a while. I love them. Ready for autumn. It's Merlot, I think. I don't know what the brand was though. I'm just about to meet Alex and Roxy.
And I'm now paranoid that it flew off in the accident. No, it's not like, it's not about to, it's got some resistance still. Mm-hmm.
We're done in Penzance. I have done some shopping, so is Alex. Let them see your ring.
Oh, hang on.
Sorry, he's about to drive off. So we looked at a vintage gold ring, but we felt like it was a bit of an impulse decision. So we went into another shop. It's my favourite vintage shop in Penzance. It's on the corner next to Wetherspoons. I feel like it doesn't have a name.
Yeah.
Every time I go there, I swear there's no name on the outside. But
a big antique shop.
We went in and there was a cabinet full of silver jewellery, and I was like, why don't you just try these on? Obviously it's not the ideal ring that he'll have forever, because it was 20 quid.
No, but I did. It was the first ring that caught my eye, and it fit basically perfectly. So
meant to be.
Yeah.
I think Alex feels a bit sad because he lost it. Alex wants to look basically, don't you, a bit more, and I can help.
Yeah.
I feel like we should give it another year, or like just no rush with it.
Well, we looked. First place we looked, you know, it had a nice ring. I guess there's a lot of, you know, kind of similar bands out there. But then I was I couldn't remember. I was sure the one I had was like a higher carat, and it was annoying me to have to pay more money for a lower quality gold, also for something that I lost, and it is a lot of money. And yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, I'm annoyed that I lost it. I want to replace it, but it's a lot of money, so it's just kind of like an endless loop. So this is nice, because sometimes I look down and I feel sad that I've lost it, and it's almost like you're missing something, missing a bit of you. Yeah. So it's nice to have something.
And I think then you don't have to make an impulse decision. We can look in a few other antique shops, look at home a bit more extensively. Like, I feel like maybe we need to do it on a weekend day where we literally just tear all the furniture out of every room. The only other thing is that Alex is worried that he lost it in the car crash. He seems to think that it would have fallen off his finger, but I just don't know how that would happen. Because his glasses disappeared. That was the weirdest thing. Alex's glasses disappeared without a trace in the car crash.
I think they disappeared into the void where the airbags came out.
But your finger, a ring is quite different.
That would be odd.
I don't think that's what's happened.
I'm not sure that kind of momentum would do it.
No, I don't.
So it's either lost in the ether of the house,
I think so,
or
and I think it might make you feel a bit, it's not been stolen. I think it might make you feel a bit better if we spent like a whole afternoon looking, and then you can just draw a line under it, and then we can look at a few different places and you can make a decision without feeling rushed. I looked
behind a couple of sofas. I didn't fully get because there's like, our sofa is weird. Like, you have to really get your hand in, but I didn't. I was like, so there's going to be spiders, there's going to be, I don't want to put my hand in there.
Also, I haven't properly done it, and I'm better at looking for things. So but I'm happy you've got something on your finger.
Me too.
And it's quite cool. You can keep it as a ring after.
It's kind of...
it's a bit more alternative, a bit more edgy.
Because when we were looking originally, it's like, do you want it brushed? Do you want it like, shiny, polished? I think my dad's one
I really like it. I think it's a really cool ring.
Brushed, so it's kind of, I don't dislike brushed.
No,
I quite like it.
I really like it. Very Cornwall.
Yeah. And it was
vintage.
5% of the price of the other one, so.
I picked up a pair of trousers and a vintage belt from Happy Days in Penzance. I think that's my favourite vintage clothing shop in Penzance. And I've got so many amazing things from them. I've got a lovely white dress that I wear all the time. My black jumpsuit that I wear quite a lot is from there. And also a polka dot dress, which I'm gonna wear to a wedding coming up. I was inspired, I saw Lydia Millen post an outfit that she wore, I think it was to like something to do with Aston Martin, and it really reminded me of the polka dot outfit from Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I was trying to think about what to wear to this wedding coming up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a polka dot dress. I hadn't thought to wear it in a formal way, because usually I wear it with a pair of like doll shoes or trainers just during the day, and I thought I could totally wear that to the wedding with a new pair of heels that I've just got, and wear that. Are you letting him go? Yeah, I could totally wear that polka dot dress with the new pair of Vivea heels I've got, and buy like a hat. And I was looking on Etsy last night, and you can buy like a fascinator, a millinery kit where you buy the hat base, buy a ribbon and make it yourself. And I thought I'd do that, and I'll show you me doing that and see if it works. And you can get it to match like in a navy colour, and then I can wear some pearls and do like a red lip. And I was looking at like polka dot outfits, and I saw a photo of Princess Diana wearing a polka dot dress with shoes really similar to the ones that I've just got from Vivea. They're like a Chanel dupe, basically, the cream ones with the black toe. And yeah, it just really inspired me not to buy like a new dress, just to try that polka dot dress in a different way, because I think that's something we forget sometimes, that lots of the dresses we have in our wardrobes can be worn really casually with a pair of trainers and your hair down, or you can really make them look quite formal with a pair of heels, with your hair up, with a hat, and it can be transformed. So I'm going to give that a go, and I'm really hoping, because that would be really cool to wear like a vintage dress and make my own hat. And then if I have that hat base, and if it's in navy, that's quite a good colour that would go with a lot of things, you can change out the things. And I just love a hat at a wedding, or a fascinator, and it's like a coastal wedding, so I'm trying to plan it and make it quite a fun outfit. I do think the older I get, the more I'm going back to loving the fashion I loved when I was younger. It's funny because you get a bit, I don't know, you get a bit swayed by the media and about what's trending and what's cool. And I just always loved vintage fashion. I was obsessed with like Dior and Chanel and the very vintage 50s, 40s silhouettes. And I forget about how much I love that way of dressing, and I just need to start dressing more like that, because I just saw that photo of Lydia Millen and I went down a little like rabbit hole of other people who I used to love for inspo for outfits, and I just thought, I just love that way of dressing. She looked amazing, and I just thought, I just love vintage dressing. I just think it's so much more beautiful. It's definitely coming back, and more people are embracing that way of dressing and that classic style of dressing, because I think more people are becoming aware of fast fashion and wanting to be more sustainable and not follow trends. And I love that that's becoming more cool now, and it's becoming a thing. So yeah, I'm gonna test that outfit out. Fingers crossed it works. You got a lovely pair of shoes, didn't you, the other day in the charity shop?
I did.
So maybe you could wear those.
Probably will.
Yeah.
I was very happy, because those old shoes I must have bought first year of university, so 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And the heel's gone, and I always mean to replace it, but
they're kind of like this colour, like a sort of deep burgundy.
They're sort of falling apart, but these are nice.
The new ones.
The new ones, yeah.
But yeah, in Happy Days, I went off on a massive tangent. I bought a pair of trousers that are basically the same as a white pair I have, and a belt that is the same colour as this. And I love my white pair of vintage trousers, but I get so scared because they're white, they're cream. I got them in Wild Pony in Falmouth, another amazing vintage shop in Cornwall, And yeah, these are like more of a beige. So they're kind of, I just feel like I'll wear them a lot because I always reach for the cream ones, and then I'm like, is today a day I want to be wearing cream trousers? No, it's not. So beige is a bit more, yeah. And now I have a matching belt to this bag because I've got a black belt but I don't have a brown belt.
Where was that from?
This was from that vintage shop that you just got your ring from. Yeah, this is the one that everyone was divided on about vintage leather, because I buy vintage leather but lots of vegans don't, and I was having a chat about it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, this probably been sitting on that. Was it from there? It was from there, or from another vintage shop in Penzance, or from a charity shop. It was from Penzance, I'm pretty sure, but I did vlog it, so yeah. I feel like it was from there.
Penzance, probably, yes.
It's a lovely bag, because of the shape of it. It's very reminiscent of a lot of designer bags that are going around at the minute. They're kind of shoulder bags that are like kind of very 90s. They're like just the sort of under the shoulder swoopy shape, baguette shape. I don't know what you call it, not baguette shape, but you know what I mean, kind of. I don't know what designers do these bags, but I know that I see them a lot. And this was about a £5.
Yeah, perfect.
And it's such good quality. Anyway, going home now and I can have some lunch. So I'll show you what we got. You can see our avocado toast remnants as we rushed out. I'll move that out of your way. I might show you the trousers on, maybe. We'll see how I feel. But this is the belt, but it matches really perfectly to my handbag. So this can be really great for the future, because every time I wear this, if I need a belt, I can wear this with it, which is really lovely. So I can wear, I was thinking the white dress that I actually got in that shop would look perfect with that belt and that bag. And then these are the trousers. Why are you hovering? Are you giving her treats? These are the trousers. They're just a grey beige colour. It says Covent Garden, that's where they're from, but they're just that kind of tapered shape. I don't know what you call this shape. What's it called again? It's like cigarette kind of, where it's like high-waisted. They're nice and loose fitting. I always go a size up because then it's comfier. I'm very tall. Trousers don't usually fit me very well because they never go high-waisted enough. So I did try on a pair of jeans and they were fine, but they were way too big on my waist, but then they did fit lengthwise and they did fit my thighs. I have a bigger bum, bigger thighs, and then I don't really have a waist definition either. So, and then I'm tall, so I'm not really the best candidate for trousers. And so I really struggle with buying trousers unless I'm smaller. When I'm a size like 12 to 14, like I am now, when I'm a size 10 to 12, it's a bit simpler. So yeah, it becomes a bit tricky to buy trousers and jeans, and but those were good. So yeah, I'll show you actually what we got on a little week off. Did I get something else, or was it just that? I think I got a picture as well, but I got these beautiful cushions. I'm not sure if I'll keep them here. This little picnic basket I moved there, but I might move it for autumn because it feels quite summery. But yeah, I really love these. I really want to get this remade because this was made by someone local, but I think I shared it at the time. I don't think they'd made one before, so it's all done wrong, and it really bothers me because it just looks messy. So I want this remade, and I kind of want, instead of a foam one, I want one of those like squishy, like fluffy ones, but that's probably something for the future, for next year. But these cushions look cute here. I might put them in our bedroom because they're blue, but they look lovely here for now. Or when we do the hallway, maybe they could live on the bench in the hallway. That would be quite cute. And then I wanted to show you these incredible sunflowers that the pollen's falling off. I haven't rearranged them or fluffed or played with them much, but our neighbours, I went round there yesterday, and or was it the day before? They have a field filled with sunflowers and cut flowers, and it is incredible. In the past, it was just a field, and they have this year grown loads of flowers. And so I was around there just talking about the hedge being cut and stuff, and they were like, do you want some sunflowers? And I was like, yeah, that's amazing. So I've just chucked them in a big vase, and I kind of love how that looks. It just is so happy. I think I'm going to fluff with it and arrange it. But interestingly, they were sort of saying how like the ones in the shops don't usually have pollen, but these do, so to be careful about the pollen falling. But yeah, look how amazing that looks with our lovely gingham, just so cottagecore. And I did get a picture from a charity shop as well on our little week off. We had like a week off work. We were going to go to Mallorca, but we stayed home. We just had a week off and did lots of nice things. I didn't vlog anything because I thought I might, but then I was like, do you know what? I actually don't want to be vlogging. I don't want to be sharing. It's just for me and Alex. But we did lots of nice things. We went to the seal sanctuary, which was really cute. And actually, I might have videos from my phone I could share. But we went to the seal sanctuary on our anniversary, which was on Sunday. We've been together for a year in terms of marriage. Been together for 12 years this year in terms of how long we've been together. But yeah, we went to the seal sanctuary. We went to Potager Garden, which is a vegetarian cafe and garden near Gweek, and it is so beautiful. If you love vegetarian vegan food, and if you live in Cornwall, if you're visiting Cornwall and you love like gardens and sustainable kind of cafes, because I think a lot of the food they serve, they grow, and it's they're very sustainability focused. They really care about where their food comes from and their energy use and everything. Then it's a really lovely place to visit. And the seal sanctuary is around the corner, so it's a really nice way to spend an afternoon. And then Alex made me a Thai curry for dinner because it's our favourite, and we had some Cornish wine and it was lovely. And yeah, during the week we just did some nice things, like we went to Falmouth, we went on walks, we relaxed in our garden and enjoyed the sunshine because luckily it was the heat wave. So that was nice. Did some reading. I finished my book Happy Place, and I was really disappointed by that book actually. I have been failing a little bit at my reading challenge, but it's okay. Like, I set myself a challenge and I haven't anywhere near read as many books as that challenge set, because I was going to try and read a book a week. But yeah, I finished Happy Place because I'd got halfway through it and got a bit fed up, and I was like, I just need to finish it because I thought it might get better. The beginning of it was so good and it was so like everything I needed, and I was really enjoying it. And then unfortunately halfway through it just started to become very cliche, very predictable, and I felt like there were parts of it I really wanted her to expand on that I found really relatable and interesting, like stuff to do with her career and about, he opened up about his mental health, and kind of like I would have loved to have heard more about him, but it just became quite cliche, and it felt like she was throwing all the romantic cliches and stuff from other books and other movies just like in one. And it was a bit, I was just a bit like, I wanted to just flip the page like, oh, this is cringing me out. I feel like I would have loved it maybe if I was 10 years younger. If I was like 20, I would probably have like lapped it up and been like, this is so cute. But maybe it's because I've just read a lot of books, romance books. It just felt, yeah, I didn't love it. I'd give it like a 2.5 out of 5. Like, wasn't a fan. I started reading Rebecca last night because it's one of my favourite books of all time, if not my favourite book of all time. And so I was just like, I need a book that I know I'm going to love because I'm craving that right now, because I'm in the middle of so many other books. I was like halfway through the book Thief, Think Like a Monk. I'm listening to that one. I'm listening to Educated by Tara Westover because that's one of my favourite books of all time. And I've only read it physically, so I wanted to listen to it. I prefer reading it physically though, I must admit. And then I'm listening to, oh, let me get my phone. Don't know why I've suddenly decided to tell you about all of the things that I'm reading, but maybe some of you are interested. My issue is that I'm probably reading too many things. Yeah, Think Like a Monk, I've got 3 hours left of that. I have listened to it before, but it was such a great book that I would really recommend it, especially when it comes to like understanding your brain and how to better ways of thinking and like seeing the world and being grateful. I find it really helps with my mental health, which is very apt for this video, obviously mentioning BetterHelp. And like, I find to listen to that book, I find it a really great reminder to focus on calming your brain, understanding that you have control over your brain, learning how to like meditate on things and have an element of gratitude. It's an incredible book. I really recommend, and listening to it is great too because he has a lovely voice and he's obviously like a podcaster and a public speaker. So I find I get a lot of value from hearing him speak the words. Yeah, Educated by Tara Westover. I'm also listening to Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before, but I haven't listened to it in a while. I've only got 3 hours left. I'm like halfway through. And that's also really great. It's a book about mental health, and she is a therapist. I think she's a psychologist, Dr. Julie Smith, and she's sort of sharing the information that she'll give her clients that can be really, really helpful in terms of understanding your brain and understanding mental health and using that to your best ability, like doing that with the homework alongside obviously therapy and medication if you need it. That she's sort of sharing the tools that she will share with her clients. And I think the whole premise of it was that she was sharing a lot of the same advice for lots of people. So why not sort of share it to everybody? Because there's so much science behind how our brain works. And the title says it, why has nobody told me this before? Because there's just certain things that you can learn that make it all much clearer. So I really recommend that one. I finished the Amber Spyglass and all of Philip Pullman's. And then the books that I'm reading, which is kind of silly. This is probably the issue that I'm having, as I'm not focusing on one thing. So the books that I'm currently reading is The School of Life. That's another book that is basically an anthology of information from psychologists and doctors about life, about your brain, relationships, everything, and about, psychology and how it all works. And it's fascinating. And this book has all of the different books that have been put together in one place. The School of Life and Emotional Education. Discover everything you were never taught at school about how to lead a better life. Introduced and edited by the best-selling author of The Consolations of Philosophy. So yeah, it's kind of philosophy, psychology, how we all think and how we live our lives, and kind of like a tool book for emotional intelligence. I'm also, how far away? Yeah, I'm actually like halfway through that. A Court of Mist and Fury. That was one I started at the start of the year and then stopped reading for some reason. I'm going to pick that back up again because that is great, that book. Oh, I finished that. I can click update progress. So I finished reading Amber Spyglass. I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5. That's fun. Well, no, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because it was my least favourite out of the 3 books. I'm in the middle of reading the book Thief. That is excellent, but I just wasn't reading it. And there was another one. I need to go on my Kindle. There was another book that I was also reading on my Kindle, but I haven't added it. I haven't updated my Goodreads. I have read Susan Howitch's The Heartbreaker, Sally Rooney's Normal People, Dolly Alderton, Ghosts, Philip Pullman, The Subtle Knife, Dolly Alderton, Everything I Know About Love. Both of Dolly Alderton books are seriously so good. Call Me By Your Name. That was probably my favourite read of the year. Excellent book. Spoonfed by Tim Spector, Poldark, and then, Amber Spyglass, all the ones I've been listening to. So how many is that? It's actually, I've not done so great on this book challenge, have I? 9, 10. I've read 10 books. Not horrendous. You know, we're in September. I've still got time. I'm hoping by the end of this week, because I'm going on this retreat, I will finish Rebecca. And maybe I can start and finish, well, maybe I can finish A Court of Mist and Fury as well, so I can make it to 12. I would love it if by the end of this year, I have read 20 books. Maybe 52 books was the challenge. So if I read 26 books, then I've done half of it and I'll be happy. So yeah, we'll see how I go. I'll update you. I think I need to be a bit more strict about not watching television in the evenings. For lunch, I'm just gonna make a stir fry. I make this all the time for lunch because it's really easy and it doesn't really require much planning or forethought. But I've got this block of tofu. I think Alex has frozen this one, and that's quite a nice little hack to freeze your tofu because it does become like a sponge. And then that sponge, can you see the texture? Is it focusing? It means it does absorb some more flavour. So it's really good to create a different sort of texture to absorb flavour, but also, yeah, to marinate. I still prefer tofu not frozen. I know this is a really like popular vegan hack. I find it does change the texture of tofu and it tastes different. I quite like the smooth texture of tofu, so I do generally prefer it when it's not been frozen, but they're both nice, they're just different. I'm just gonna bung this in the pan before I cook anything else. And in my new cookbook, Make It Vegan, which now has a cover, you can go look at the cover. I'm so happy that it's out in the world. I have a recipe in there for like 15-minute noodles that are super quick because sometimes you can't be bothered to cook and recipes say they're 15 minutes and it's a lie, they're not. And I timed this and specifically gave instructions in this recipe to share how to make it quicker, how to cut corners, how to make it simpler. There's also explanations of how you could make it a normal, you know, half an hour lengthy dinner. But I just wanted to share in detail in the method how to make things run quicker and why, because I feel like sometimes with recipes it doesn't explain why they're doing the thing they're doing. And I find it really educational and helpful to share and to learn why it is that certain things are happening in a recipe. So yeah, that's a really great one from the book that's very practical. If you want to make a stir fry really quick, you just shove it all in all together, obviously. I like to fry the tofu a little bit before. Ideally, if you want to make it really crispy and lovely, you want to fry it for like 15 minutes, turning it, getting it all golden on all sides. But you know what? Sometimes I just can't be bothered. So I just do this while I chop the other veg and while I prep everything else. And then I put everything in together because I don't care enough. It tastes good anyway. But I would recommend, yeah, just chucking your tofu in first at the start. And then I can chop up my veg. I'd recommend if you're cooking yourself food is always make extra, because leftovers, it's always a good idea. I know that lots of people talk about meal prep, and I do meal prep, but sometimes meal prep can be in the form of just one day you make your lunch and you make double or you make triple, and then you have leftovers. You can freeze it or you can have it for dinner as well if you live alone. And I think cooking in bulk over cooking single dishes just really enables you to eat more healthily and cook more food. It just, yeah, it just saves having to cook again. So I'm just frying up all of this veg because we are going away on Thursday. So we're going out tomorrow, so I probably won't eat this for lunch, but I might have this for dinner with some rice. I'm just gonna have it like this for lunch, but maybe this could be dinner and Alex could have something from the freezer. We've got all plants and things, and it just kind of, it means I don't have to cook constantly. You don't need to be cooking breakfast, lunch and dinner all the time. You can just cook a lot of it and then have it for leftovers. That's generally speaking what me and Alex do. Starting to go nice and golden, because if you freeze it, it does get rid of a lot more moisture, so it will cook quicker. I feel like a lot of people buy stir fry sauces and you really don't need to. You just need to stock your pantry. Stock your pantry with light soy sauce, or that's dark soy sauce. This is for colour and for also like sweetness. Light soy sauce, that's for the saltiness. Obviously everyone has salt and pepper. I always have ginger and I put it in the freezer because it lasts forever, and you just grate it into the dish. Garlic, of course, and yeah, a couple garlic cloves is plenty. And then sesame oil, it's great for flavour. If you add it in at the end especially, you'll taste it more, just like a little quick drizzle. You don't need more than like a teaspoon. Apple cider vinegar and maple syrup. And basically what you're thinking about is salty, sour and sweet. So you can replace the apple cider vinegar or add to the apple cider vinegar lemon or lime. If you don't have apple cider vinegar, you can use lime, vice versa. Maple syrup, you could use some sugar. I just like to use maple syrup because it's just a little bit, you know, healthier because it's come from a plant and it's less processed, but you can literally just throw in a teaspoon of sugar. This is just a nice flavour. It's like got a smoky texture. And then you can also add chili or spice. I forgot about that. The lazy way to do that is just to use a hot sauce. You can use a chili and chop up a chili. You can also freeze chili and grate it like you grate the ginger, but I very often just use sriracha because it's got a nice flavour. And that's all you need for a stir fry. Like, you don't need to get a sauce, and I personally like this sort of sauce better. I think it's full of flavour, especially if you add loads of ginger. Go easy on the maple syrup, easy on the sesame, and then add yeah, these things and just taste it. But you want to have like a balance of the saltiness, the chilliness, the sourness, the sweetness. That's the key. It always tastes good. Now my tofu is looking quite golden. That's quite rapid actually. Like, really recommend freezing your tofu if you want it to get golden quickly. Now I'm gonna add the mushrooms because I'm a bit of a fuss pot when it comes to mushrooms because I love them so much. I really don't like it when they aren't like, when they're like boiled. So many people don't cook them properly. You wanna throw them in first so that they can properly reduce and cook. Cook the tofu and mushrooms like this, and then you can add the soy sauce for colour and flavour and go from there. I wanted to quickly share as well, my mum has started making and selling her own cards. She has set up an Etsy site. I don't have them with me here to show you, but maybe tomorrow I can go get them from her. But I'll show some pictures of what they look like. She hand paints them, hand draws them, makes them all herself. She has experience with this because when she was younger, when I was growing up, she used to run her own craft shop called Willow Moon, and that's the name of this new card company she's doing. And yeah, she used to make all of the crafts for Willow Moon, and she used to sell lots of other Cornish artists and craft makers stuff in her shop. I remember going to the shop all the time when I was little in Liskeard and in Loo. And yeah, she's just doing it now in retirement as a way to make a little extra money, and because she's so creative. And I really wanted to share it and give her a shout out because she works so hard and she's so talented. And if you're looking for a card for a birthday or for a gift or for Christmas or anything like that, then definitely go check out her Etsy account, because if you're a new Etsy seller, obviously it takes a bit of time to get reviews and to get sales to get started. So if any of you want to buy her cards, I'd really appreciate it. And you know, it's coming from a local seller and independent seller, and they're beautifully made. She's very talented. And give her a review if you do buy any, and give her a little shout out, because she'll really appreciate it. She's made so many and she's really excited that she's finally selling them. And I'm definitely gonna buy a few from her as well. But yeah, go check it out, I'll leave it linked. It's called Willow Moon, and go follow her on Instagram as well. She'll really appreciate the love, but I'll try and get my hands on them physically so I can show you how unbelievably beautiful they are, because they are so gorgeous. Okay, so now the mushrooms have reduced a little bit. I'm going to add in some dark soy sauce for the colour, a bit of salt and pepper, some light soy sauce. I grate in a generous amount of ginger. I love a lot of ginger because I just feel like it makes it taste amazing, and it's so good for you. Just gonna do 1 clove of garlic, because this is the biggest clove of garlic I've ever seen in my life. That was the amount of like 3 cloves, I swear. Give that a quick stir fry, and then we can add our other ingredients. I'm just gonna add the rest of the veg and add in my sauces. So I don't measure anything. You can, but I just don't bother. I always add lemon as well, because I just love the flavour. Even though I've done apple cider vinegar, I just adore lemon and lime. Also adds a bit of moisture in there. And if you're frying noodles with this, then use some of the noodle water to make it get all slick. Need a bit more soy sauce. Add a little water. And then I've got some coriander here that's wilting quite a bit. I'm adding the stalks in, and then I've saved the leaves to go on top. You could also add like a tin of coconut milk to this and have it like as a curry if you wanted. Yeah, you just need to sort of stir fry this for like 5 minutes until the vegetables have cooked. I'm going to put the lid on just so they can steam. One thing I really need to buy is a wok. I forgot to add this, so to be honest, this is sometimes actually the best way to do it. It's just to drizzle it on top, because it is quite a strong taste, and that's like all you need. Yummy! Let me take you outside and show you our completely transformed garden. So we have a pile of trees out here, and don't worry, we're not chopping any trees down, we're pruning them. So these are all still alive, they'll grow back. This is just what you have to do with these trees to look after them. This is the willow, so they advise that this willow tree, it's one of those ones that you basically chop it down every year and then it grows back, and that's what you're supposed to do. We hired what they called Cornovia.
Sorry?
What they called the tree surgeons?
Gardeners.
Was it Cornovia?
Cornovia.
From Camborne. They were amazing. The amount they did.
Not done yet.
The amount they did in one day was phenomenal. So impressed and so efficient. Really lovely people. Highly recommend if you live in Cornwall. Just such great service, and it's difficult to come by with tradesmen, with people who do these kinds of jobs, to find people who are efficient. Just excellent experience with them. Oh, Bobby. But yeah, not chopped any trees down. We've just trimmed them all. This is how to like look after them year in, year out, to enable them to grow healthily and all the other plants to grow healthily. So yeah, these ones you chop right down and then they come back again next year, because this one was also going over the seating area that Roxy is modelling and blocking all the light. And then all of these are from the hedge here, which you can see have really chopped. They're just sycamore saplings, I think, which is like little versions of this sycamore tree, which now you can actually see, and it's going to help this tree because all the sort of smaller bits have been chopped back. And yeah, it's all chopped down, which has just given us this whole extra area of garden, because all these trees came all the way out here. And this is our cherry tree, so we now have the opportunity to decide what we're going to do with this space, whether we're going to make it grass, whether we're going to fill it with a flower bed. They've gone halfway down here, so they'll continue further down, and it will also tidy up the road as well, because this is a road here, so it will be much better on the side of the road. I'll show you the front in a second. But yeah, I can't believe how much bush there is. But this is our laurel hedge, which looks like it's been razored. It's just incredible and so satisfying how neat it is. So this will all grow back and fill out if we keep it pruned. Laurel's one of those ones that will grow back, because I did ask, it's not going to stay woody at the bottom, is it? He's like, no, it will fill out. So yeah, this hopefully will end up all looking like this all over, and then it just sort of slopes down. So let's go down here. I just think this looks so much nicer. Like, how neat and tidy is that? It's just amazing. Never looked like that. And then it slopes down here, and then here is also crazy, the difference. This was all filled just all the way out with laurel, and it's all been chopped back, so hopefully that should fill out again over time. The light now can get to it, and this should hopefully fill with leaves. I hope it does. I'm sure it does. That's what he said it would do. And then we've got I think that this is a, oh, what's the word? I have forgotten the word, but these are other trees that are here, obviously, that were just being suffocated. And this one in particular, which is a beautiful, beautiful, very tropical tree that was just being hidden. And we've got all these weeds that are growing up, that horrible vine that grows up everything that I'm going to destroy because it's trying to take over. And we can do lots of work with cleaning everything up now. This has all been tidied, because that was kind of the thing that was stopping us in the garden, that all of the trees were so massive that it was just taking over. And now we've got the space to plan flower beds, and I want to, like, yeah, this can be a lovely flower bed and we can really like do something with it. And then down here there's more more trees that have been pruned. Look at how much there is. And then here is again transformative. So this is the laurel that was literally the height of that tree. It was like all the way up to here, and it's all been trimmed back. And then our oak tree can breathe. It's a lovely like canopy shape, this oak tree, but you can see how it wasn't able to grow in this direction, and it's leaning this way heavily because of the laurel. But yeah, now this hopefully can fill out with leaves on this side. We can clear some of the brambles, and yeah, we trimmed all of these. You might remember that they were basically like these, all leaning over and creating a lot of shade. So we've asked the neighbours, I will double check before they do it on Wednesday, because they're coming back, but I think they also want theirs chopped. Probably not that one, because that's a big tree, but them all chopped, because they're just like saplings, or I think that's what they're called. Yeah, I asked them, I think they want them all chopped as well, because they will grow back and they're gonna take over. So all been chopped down, and now there's lots of light. And yeah, by next summer they probably will grow back really, really big, but it just gives it space, and we can just tidy everything up because it's just a mess. There's just so much, it's a bit overwhelming because we have a lot of garden, but I think we just need to, now that the trees are nearly done, they'll come back and finish the rest, but now that the trees are like taken care of, I'm gonna hopefully try and make a bit of a plan with my mum about the design of the garden. So like where we put flower beds, where we want to have the greenhouse, where we want to have paths and all of that. And once you have a design and a drawing, you can start implementing it in the years to come. And there doesn't need to be any rush. It can just be something that you slowly do over time, and you focus on the higher priority. Like what we've been focusing on the past few weeks is looking after the grass and just making that really lovely. And yeah, then the trees, and then we can focus on making a sort of drawing and where we want things to be, and just looking after it all basically, and just do it bit by bit. I think with that in mind, I'm probably like gonna slow down a little bit on stuff like the vegetable garden, because there's just a lot of other things to do when it comes to sort of planning the actual garden. So I think that we'll plant some things, but just put some like cover crop or some things that are just very easy, and not make it a high priority, because it's just not possible at this point essentially. And then if you come at the front, this has all been trimmed, so you might not remember, but they were all the way up very high, and it's all been cut back, so also that lane is clear of them. And then up here we have a lovely archway. It's kind of hard to show you, but yeah, this was all kind of coming down onto the office roof, and now it's not. It was literally all on here, and it's all been trimmed, so we've got a lovely arch going all the way round and back down here. Our job as well is to clear a lot of this ivy, because it's really taking over the driveway. And then this lovely tree has been trimmed, and it's much neater. But goodness, doesn't make me feel like I've got a lot to sort, because now you can really see the house from the road, and the office really needs painting. Let me show you the back of the office. You can see how there used to be a load of ivy on here. We cleaned the ivy off, but it just looks very messy and just not nice. So I really want to paint this and fix it up. I'm thinking blue. I'm thinking painting it all blue, and maybe a contrast white for the fascias, or say soffits, fascias, soffits, or black. Maybe black with blue. That would be quite cool, because you can have black guttering as well to match the house when we do that. There's just lots of things to consider. I think that will be a project that Alex might do at some point, and I think the blue would work really well with the limestone patio. But I'm tempted to literally just go with the blue that we've got in the hallway and paint the office, the back door, the front door, all that lovely sort of grey blue. Would be good. With that in mind, I feel a little overwhelmed by the amount of things I need to do in this garden. So the thing that I find really helpful is to write a list, and I'm going to break it down like I do in my calendar. So tasks that are quick, that take like under half an hour, I can do them in the morning, I could do them bit by bit, whatever. And then 30-minute to 1 hour tasks, and then projects. I personally find this really helps me, because it means I actually get things done. Because if I look at a garden like this and I go, oh my gosh, there's so many things to do, I just don't do it. If I break it down, I will do it. So quick tasks I can do is remove the weed from the hedge, because there's only a few bits of it, and the tree. I need to fill the beds with some topsoil and John Innes, or was it John Eames? Loads of you recommended it, because I just use multi-purpose compost. So I can get that from the garden centre and fill them with extra compost, because I can't believe how much compost those beds have used. And lots of you also did say that's because I needed to use like topsoil, because it's heavier, whereas the compost will just sink and compact. And I'm just going to keep adding to this list and going around the garden and figuring out which ones are big projects. So another big project that probably, is it a garden project or is it just a project? I think it is a garden project, is to paint the office, and then also to clean the office roof. And then a 30-minute to 1 hour task would probably be weed the veg beds, because they are pretty bad, and remove ivy from remove ivy from driveway, and remove ivy from patio area, and remove, way better, but I'm gonna go around the garden and write my list. I hope I got that on camera. Roxy's climbing underneath the trees. You're so silly. I've added another section, which is daily tasks, and they're quick things that I can just do in the morning, like collecting the apples, because I can just collect a little handful of them and then it's done. That's so much better. Look at all the stuff I've cleared. So the tree is free of the weed. I think it's called knotweed. It's really interesting, this tree. It's got like this really hairy trunk. Let me know what tree this is if anyone knows. Roxy. But yeah, we've now got the wall on show, which is so lovely. And I've removed a lot of the ivy and brambles. So, if you stand back, look at that, with some imagination, this really could be pretty. I think, in my opinion, that it should just be like a sort of wibbly, sort of, kind of like a flower bed around the trees, but nothing too high, just something that's got some ground cover, just so you can see the wall and you can see the trees, and these can be trimmed back a bit, because I think that would look prettiest. Maybe move these pieces of granite somewhere else. Yeah, and maybe you could put a bench in this area, just something to cover it. And obviously this, the long-term goal is that this won't be on show. I don't want you to be able to see it. So maybe like a climbing hydrangea or jasmine or honeysuckle or something, and then big bushy plants so that it's literally just sinks into the garden and it disappears. That's the plan. And then obviously when you're up there, it's a patio. So like visibly from the garden, you won't see any of this wood, it will just be all hidden. And you can have plants at the top that trail. But yeah, really is much better. Look at that. I'm leaving that in.
Oh, great.
What?
I was testing the light, I didn't know it was recording.
Oh, it's red. I thought it was brown. I mean, that's pretty cool. Here is my new handbag. I haven't purchased it, don't worry. Wow. That is gorgeous. Oh, look, it's got a long strap as well. My food is in the microwave and I just got a delivery. I mentioned this in another video called Cocoon Club, where you basically just rent bags. It's like a membership fee every month and you can swap your bag out. I have cancelled my membership now, not because of anything they've done, just because I don't think it's worthwhile for me. This is my second bag. I had one more swap. I had my other, it was a Gucci handbag for 3 months and I loved it, and I would consider buying it secondhand. I loved it that much. This is a Chloe one and it's a gorgeous like reddy brown. I would buy this as well, secondhand of course. How gorgeous is that? I went for something a bit more like practical, I suppose, just so I can use it for lots of different things, but I've always loved Chloe handbags. I don't actually care about what handbags are in fashion or are it bags, or literally does not interest me whatsoever. I just know the bags that I like, and there's lots of bags that I look at, designer ones, and most of them I don't like. The ones that I do like more are the kind of classic Chanel handbags, which I have one of. Chloe handbags, and then that one Gucci handbag that I was using before. It's like the horse bit one. That's also very pretty. There's very few other handbags. I quite like Loewe ones, they're quite nice, but I'm not like a handbag connoisseur. I have no idea about them really. It was just a bit of a fun thing to try. Really recommend it if you're a massive handbag fan and you don't want to like buy and commit to designer handbags, or if you don't want to buy leather, you're just borrowing someone else's handbag that they have in their wardrobe already. Very sustainable way of doing it. I've cancelled it just because I live in the countryside and I don't go out enough to justify it. I was finding that with the other handbag, I was wearing it only occasionally, like once a week or once a fortnight when I would go somewhere, because other times I was going somewhere, I would take a bigger handbag, or I would take a handbag that I wasn't worried about. That was the second thing, that I was quite paranoid because it's not mine, that I would ruin it, and it made me stressed. So I was having the handbag and like holding it against me and on the table, and I was just worried. Whereas when it's my handbag, I think it's mine, I can use it how I like. I might do it again one day, but for now it just didn't really seem like something I would want. I will look into seeing if they do just like one-off swaps where you can just borrow a handbag for a month and you just pay a one-off fee, because I probably would be more likely to do that for like an event, or for like Christmas time, or if it was your birthday month, or you're going on a holiday. I feel like that would be more suitable for me over having it for a full month and continually always having to pick a handbag. But we'll try this one for this month, and then I'll return it and it'll be over. But beautiful, beautiful handbag, and I'm glad it arrived because I can take it away with me for going away, and it's really practical and it's very pretty. Very pretty. There's my oil plants. But then sometimes I do wonder in the back of my mind, like, am I just being duped by these companies? Because I've got my Chanel handbag and I'm like, it's beautiful and all, but like, and I do love it and I don't regret buying it, but sometimes I think, why? Why do we buy designer handbags? You know what I mean? They're pretty, but also is it just literally for this tiny little name? They match my nails, hee hee. But yeah, is it literally just this tiny little name, like status symbol? I do question that. I go back and forth. I have both opinions basically. I have that opinion and I also have the opinion that it's just a pretty bag. And who cares? This all plants is tofu pad thai. The only thing with all plants is I do find that their portion sizes, like when it's for 2 people, I feel like it's more for 1.5, because I won't eat all of this, but half of it might not be enough. So I don't know. I'll put half in and then I'll see how I go, because this looks like a slightly more filling one. But sometimes I do find that it's not quite enough. They do vary, I suppose. It depends on which one you're eating. This is like noodles, so maybe this will actually be okay. There it is. Gonna enjoy this for my dinner. I might put a bit of sriracha on top. And dip in.